Decades, there's been that Surgeon General's warning on packs of cigarettes. But this morning, for the first time, a new warning about something else, social media and what it means for kids' mental health. Why now for this advisory?
We're issuing this advisory to sound the alarm.
Surgeon General Vivek Murthy says there's not enough evidence to show social media platforms are safe enough for kids and teens.
We see rates of depression and anxiety and suicide and loneliness going up among young people. And I'm concerned that social media is an important driver of that youth mental health crisis. This is the defining public health issue of our time, youth mental health.
Research shows 95% of teens are on social media. More than a third say they're on constantly. And teens spend an average of 3.5 hours each day on these kinds of apps, something research shows can double the risk of experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety.
On average, you can expect to see anywhere from a few dozen to thousands of people a day. Think about that. How many faces blur past you on sidewalks, hallways, or even on screens? How many of those people do you really speak to, going past a hi or a handshake? Now think about the number of advertisements you see in a day. Every billboard, pop-up ad, and sponsored video with catchy music, the average human sees anywhere from 10 to thousands of ads a day. Now think about how many of them you remember what they were about. Not just the product or idea, but the message behind it or how the video wanted you to feel. We pass by so many different places, people, and way too many ads to take us out of reality. The world starts to feel like an ongoing slideshow that none of us wanted to watch. We start to go through life on autopilot, disconnected from our present life, from each other, and even ourselves. When everything is competing for your attention, you start to lose grip of what is real and what is not. Being in the moment seems to be rare, and compassion seems like an afterthought. Over the past 15 years, studies have shown that compassion-related online searches have gone up by over 4,000%, and 61% of Americans reported feeling that compassion has declined in society. In today's world, people have to ask for connection and kindness while also feeling more isolated than ever before. This can be directly connected to the increased use of social media and being connected online. In 2025, there are over 5 billion users worldwide, almost 64% of the total population. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram have over 7 billion users combined, with thousands of joining every single day. But social media has become more than just sharing our lives. It is a place to promote products, and some are just plain fake. Social commerce, also known as e-commerce from various social media platforms, was estimated to have almost $5 billion in sales globally in 2022. On top of just e-commerce, influencer marketing has become and is still growing, with a projected $17 billion in 2022. This relationship between e-commerce and influencer marketing relates to the increase in social media and has shown to have real-world effects. In the last 5 years, 240 malls in the United States have shut down, related to the increase in online sales and e-commerce. People have been shopping online, being able to avoid shopping in person around other people.
Hundreds of malls have closed over the last several years because people's shopping habits have changed. There was a time in the U.S. when there was a spending frenzy of consumerism and everyone was shopping, and shopping malls were where everybody spent their time and went on the weekends. You know, we would go to the Auntie Anne's pretzel stand, and we would go to Abercrombie, and we would walk around the mall and hang out there for hours. Then the recession hit, and not only did the spending slow down, but people's values changed. People are now spending more on experiences over things, especially the apparel industry has been hit especially hard. Another big factor that I always consider when we're talking about malls is the rise of technology. When you go online to Amazon, you can read thousands of reviews from people who have had this product, tried it out, maybe had issues with it, maybe have been using it for a year and say it's great. And that's so much more credible as a consumer than what a retail worker is going to tell you. That's just how it is. It's also more convenient. When we talk about e-commerce, that's definitely a huge threat to retailers that have large store bases, but it still accounts for only about 8% of total retail sales. I think that one of the biggest threats to traditional retailers today is just changing shopping habits. It's people really want deep discounts. They're going to places like TJ Maxx, they're going to Amazon, and they're shopping for clothes at Amazon. This is something that people didn't go to Amazon for a couple years ago. Everybody just wants the cheapest price, but also wants the highest quality product.
But what does this mean for each of us? Compassion and personal interaction have gone from being a feeling we all have to an act we have to step out of our daily lives to think about somebody else. We have to go so far out of our daily routine and repeated behaviors just to do something kind for someone else. When you stop to help someone, not for your own benefit, but just to be there for someone else in a time of need, take stepping out of your comfort zone and notice yourself not being stuck in your daily routine. But social media consumption isn't just a negative to look at. It also brings people together, allowing them to share their own experiences and actions, help bring life back to ourselves. People can share their stories, be vulnerable on camera, which allows us to see the world from a view others than just our own two eyes.
What's up, brother? How are you? I do. I actually have ice cold water, food, all that stuff. I'm gonna drop this off to the guys that can't really walk, but I've got a food truck right down there. You just want to line up there. We got a whole thing you can select from: sandwiches, snacks, water, the whole nine.
Okay, where's the food truck?
Just right down here on the left, right before the taco spot. Okay?
Up for the taco spot?
Yeah, do you see that black building right there? Like
Okay.
47th Street? Just right there.
47th Street?
It's literally, it's hiding right behind these pillars.
Okay.
That's why you can't see it.
47th Street, there's a food truck right there.
Yep, there you go. I'll see you in a minute, okay? Yep, just right there. It'll be like aluminum truck kind of thing.
What's it called?
Mobile Loaves, La Mesa Ministries. Hey, what's up, bro? How are you? Dude, so good to see you. There's some food. We did. If you guys need hygiene and stuff and clothes, we got some over there. I'll pass you some food first, though. There you go. I'm gonna run that guy over there some food, and then I'll meet you guys back over at the truck, okay? So good to see you. Awesome, brother. Good to see you. Take care.
Judith Butler's theory of performative acts gives us a better understanding of how our repeated behavior connects directly to how we go about our daily lives. We become the people we are by what we do, but is it what we really do, who we are, or who we taught ourselves to be? Think about this. When you're walking to class, you see someone you've never talked to, but they smile at you. What would you do? Ignore them? Smile back? Look away quickly? Everyone has their own way of responding, but is that your true response, or a reflex that you have rehearsed over time? Butler says that identity is not something that we are all born with, but something that we all shape throughout our lives with the acts we perform. Our personal ideas, how we treat others, and how we feel about ourselves are all pattern behaviors that eventually feel natural to us. This is where looking through the lens of different performance theories gives us a powerful meaning beyond what we feel on a day-to-day basis. Richard Shiner's concept of restored behavior, which is also called twice behaved behavior, explains that in almost all our daily lives, most of what we do is rehearsed. We perform the same roles we have every other day of our lives, slowly building routines while not even noticing it. We do things like go to work, be polite, and say please and thank you when someone helps us. This doesn't mean that what we do isn't meaningful, but they are practiced and restored behaviors. Think about the things you do daily, the same way every single day, but you don't really think about it. Most of us wake up and do the same thing every single day, not really thinking about what we're doing, but do the same thing we've done every single day. Now take a second to think about your daily routine. Notice things that you do. Is there something you can see or notice that you didn't before? Think about this today. While you go throughout your day, try and be mindful of what you do and be more present in the moment. We live in a world where almost all of our behaviors are rehearsed. Our emotions and actions become routine and mindless. But it's important to ask yourself a few simple questions. What parts of your day are truly you, and what do you do every single day that are actions that are repeated that you don't think about? When you walk throughout your day, are you actually sitting there, or are you playing the role of yourself? Think about your own life. What have you done repeatedly where you don't even think about what you're doing? Now, think about the opposite. What have you done to step out of your daily role to help someone else? Doing something that makes you go out of your daily routine. Scan this QR code on the screen to share your own story. Use something meaningful to you, a situation where you went out of your repeated behaviors and showed an act you normally wouldn't.